Oh, uh, it's important that everybody wear your mask, straight up. 50 years in hip hop, like I said, 50 years, man. Question was asked to me about the early MC battles. Battling was part of the hip hop culture in the beginning. You know, you had that battle, which I never witnessed the battle, but I heard about the battle between the original Funky Four with Shaw Rock and KK Rockwell when Raheem was in the group, and Keith Caesar when they battled the Furious Four, Melly Mel Creole, Cowboy, and Scorpio. And you know, after that battle, you know, Furious Four asked Raheem from the Funky Four to join to join their crew, and then the Funky Four brought in Rodney C and Jazzy Jeff. Because at one point, Shaw Rock had left the group for like 2 months during the summer, and then they brought in Rodney C and Jeff. But some of the most infamous battles, I mean, like, you know, there's the MC convention flyers that Ray Chandler did, or the Barn Ballroom, AJ, God bless his soul. You know, me and AJ did a few MC conventions. Me and Mike and Dave did a few. But it all started back, you know, with the Ray Chandler era, Black Door. You know, but we carried the torch. You know, I did them, AJ did them. You know, we had the microphone with the hand. We had the Academy Award. Winston Sanders and AJ did them at Princeton. You know, Mike and Dave did it. Man, Dip Light did it. You know, we typed out the little list with the names for the groups to be invited, all that. But, you know, the one that happened with Busy B and Kumo D was actually MC convention. A lot of people told me they was there. No, you wasn't. Because it happened twice, but you wasn't there. I know Cold Crush was there. I know the Fantastic was there. I know Red Alert was there. I know I was there. I know the Harlem World Crew was there. I mean, was a lot of people claiming to be there. Johnny Juan Rayvon was there. You know, the Magnificent Seven. But there was a lot of people from the Bronx that wasn't there. But that night turned out to be a fantastic night when Mo D got on stage unexpectedly after the solo battle was done, and that history was made that night. Bad part about it was, you know, I felt bad for Busy B, really did, because something like that's never happened in hip hop, and like I really felt bad for Busy B. Like there was no words. Like we basically thought that Busy B's career was over. I mean, for a minute it hurt him, but in the long run, it's the most talked about battle ever in the history of hip hop. You know, from its origins. And you know, I mean, what did Busy B do that night? He went to Disco Fever. You know, but some of the other battles that took place, because once the Furious Five and Funky Four, once they was gone, you know, me and Mike and Dave and man, Dip Light was looking like, okay. It was like a building situation again, and the next groups that was in line were the Cold Crush brothers, Charlie Chase and Tony Tone, the Cold Crush and Grand Wizard Theater on the Fantastic Five. Because, you know, in the early stages, you know, it was based on groups. You know, you had the Crash Crew, you know, the Poison Clan. Then, I mean, and you had Cold Crush and you had Fantastic. And the wave after that basically was Fearless Four, you know, Treacherous Three, you know, Master Don Committee, even though Don's been around, but the different versions. And, you know, we had to build that 81 era, 82, off the Fantastic and Cold Crush battles. And them, because the Furious Five and Funky Four was on a whole different level in what they was doing. And, you know, me and AJ, you know, like Cold Crush and Fantastic went at it a lot. And I mean, it was good for hip hop. You know, the Force MCs came in, they got involved, and they was not something to be overlooked. On the soloists, there was a lot of opportunities for people to shine. You know, Rayvon and Johnny Ward, Johnny Ward, Rayvon, Johnny Ward, they was definitely there. You know, but it always came down to the Cold Crush Brothers and Fantastic. And that's why a lot of tapes were out there. And those were the great days of battles. They always ended up 1-2. No matter how many MC conventions we did, it always ended up with the Cold Crush and Fantastic towards the end. Um, I mean, there's been a lot of battles. There's been some battles that really never happened. There's battles that people got in their mind that they thought happened. I mean, there's been some battles on the turntables. I mean, Master Don versus Daryl C. Rest in peace to both DJs at IS 201. Master Don had the brand new 808 and lit everything up. Had the lights turned off inside of the cafeteria and threw the machine on. You know, it was a great time. You know, because I got in this game through who DJ AJ, Lovebug Starsky. I got down with AJ when he had MC Kenny G, his first MC. Second MC was Sonny G. And then still wasn't, Cowboy was floating around. And this was in the summer. AJ came home, over Morehouse's Park. But like I said, battles were an important part in hip hop. And even later on, when I wanted to do Big Daddy Kane versus Rakim and offered them $500,000 in LL versus Kumo D during that time back in 89, 90, that was my proposed movement when I did RAPAMANIA, was to take it to, like WrestleMania with the battles. But, Rakim never came to the table, LL never came to the table, But the way they battle today is totally different. You got a lot of great MCs out here, on the battle tip, but going back to our generation, that's how we was able to sustain a lot in hip hop, was because of the battles. And I like to salute Grand with the Theater on the Fantastic Five. I like to salute Charlie Chase, Tony Tone, and the Cold Crush Brothers. For that part of hip hop in 1981, 82, us promoters couldn't survive unless we had y'all into them battles. And yet, we still did shows with those groups. Cold Crush, Fantastic, Crash Crew, Master Don, Def Committee, Force MCs. That was the lineup. Then the Treacherous 3, Fearless 4, you mix it up. That was the lineup. Arthur Armstrong was taking the groups to Jersey. The white, Mark Collins, the white, taking the groups, the Watson brothers taking them upstate. I'm in the city, Mike and Dave in the city. We was going to Brooklyn, going to Empire Skating Rink, Martin Van Buren High School, Harlem World, Savoy Manor, then you had XC Garage. So, like I said, Flash and them was gone. They was on the road. They out on tour with the Gap Band and the Barcades. So they was already past that level. The Funky Four of them was out on the Sugar Hill tour with Sequence and the Sugar Hill Gang, and they were just gone. We had to take Flash and the Furious Five and Funky Four of them off the MC battle, MC convention flies, because they wasn't going to be there. And to fill their void, those were the first two hip hop legitimate groups. To fill that void was impossible. I mean, yeah, you had the L Brothers and, Dada Rock and, Whip, and then, the Cold Cuts formulated, and, and all this happened. But man, that void was like me and Mike and Dave and AJ, like, yo, man, who can we put in now to do these shows? And, and that's what happened. And at the end of the day, it all turned out good. It turned out good. And that's where we at right now of the battles. And I like to say happy birthday to hip hop, 50 years, 2023. It's your brother Vansilk, aka Ralph Barella, rocking the 45th anniversary hip hop t-shirt. There is a 48th anniversary shirt. and a 46 and a 47. And when it was hip hop, 50 years, 2023.